Today we have a special one for you. We are on board the all-new Aquila 46 yacht. Now we're here at the Aquila hub. We're actually getting her commissioned for her debut at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, but I thought you'd like to take a peek before the crowds get on her. Let's take a look. So this is known as an explorer style yacht, and what that means is the bow is elevated, so that gives us headroom down below in our beam wide master, but it also gives us a massive bow area with a recessed seating area. So this is something you see on the Aquila 50. It's done at a smaller platform here, but really it's almost just as big as the 50, which is an awesome thing to see. This boat is 23 feet 3 inches wide, so it has an expansive bow here, huge area to entertain, tons of storage down below into the bow, and that carries forward into the flybridge. So when we look at the 46 Aquila, we're gonna wanna keep on comparing it to the 44, right? Because the 44 Aquila is the predecessor. So we are looking at truly the replacement for the 44 Aquila. So keeping that in mind, we see a lot of the accents that we saw on the 44 at a grander scale on this boat. First, starting off here at the back, if we even just look at the hatches for the engine rooms, they're double the size, so indicating that the engine rooms are a lot bigger. We're going to show you that in a moment. Probably one of my favorite things about the boat is the engine room, or the engine rooms rather. So very cool thing to see. They're much more massive than a 44 Aquila. So a lot of great things happening there under the deck that you don't see. But back here, we actually see a huge table that they improved on from the 44 that was more of a wraparound seating style. Here we actually have room for chairs, so room for more movable furniture, stowaway furniture, and actually makes for more room to actually walk around and traverse the deck to get lines or have those conversations with your friends. But even looking at the accents that they've even put on the ceilings here, we see that Aquila is they're growing. There's a lot of things that they're doing better over the years, and we love to see that. So coming up here to the bar window, which is everyone's favorite part of an Aquila, they've actually done a much cooler design than we saw from before. So we bring the window up, it clamps in up here, bar folds down like your standard bar, but you actually have no pillar here. So it makes for a vastly open space. I mean, the boat just feels so much more massive than a 44 Aquila would feel. And just being able to sit here in your salon area and converse with, people that are getting your drinks ready, or, your wife that's cooking, or your kids that are running around, or even watching your favorite sports game. It's just such a cool feature to have on a boat with an unobstructed view of your salon area. And we have the elephant in the room, what everybody has asked for on a 44 Aquila, a full-size refrigerator. You've got one on the 46 Aquila, enough space for all your provisions and your food, a huge freezer down below here with an ice maker. So the creature comforts just keep on growing on these Aquilas. You also have a wine cooler down here, storage back here as well. And there's really not much more you can ask for as we enter into this boat here for accommodation purposes. So coming into the galley here, I already see things that were improved on from the 44 Aquila. We have so much more counter space, which is much needed on all of these boats, especially if you're going to be living on it. So we see a lot of liveaboards on these boats, and there's really never enough space for your Instapots, your espresso machines, your rice cookers, whatever you may have. But there's a ton of space on this countertop, and you actually have space back here that actually has a divider here that actually keeps everything in place. So that's pretty cool to see. But you also have an oven here on the boat, something you won't see on a 44 Aquila. You also still have your microwave on the boat in an easy place. You can stow it away because no one wants to look at the microwave. And just tons of storage. So if you were to come down here and really open up all these cabinets, you would actually see a lot of cool things that we haven't seen on these boats before, like these pull-out drawers have dividers in them for your utensils, so places that are designated for plates and utensils. So that's a great thing to see on these boats. So making our way forward into the cockpit, we have a high-low table, something we see on the other Aquilas as well. This one will go down. This one you can actually add a bow filler cushion to make it a big layout area or even another sleeping area. for other guests to accommodate them. But also you have a drop-down TV from the ceiling. So this is something we see now on a lot of the newer Aquilas, that the TVs are in the ceilings, away from taking away from a storage spot or away from being in the center of the boat. So it's cool to have that being able to be tucked away when the seas get rough or when you just don't want to see it anymore. We have a ton of natural light in this boat. The windows just keep getting bigger and bigger on all of these boats. So gives a great atrium style feel in here. It just connects you more to the water, really. Something really unique and special about this boat that's never been done before with Aquila is they've moved all their entry points into the bedrooms forward. So that gives us a lot more space back here. That's why the kitchen's a lot bigger. This dinette area is a lot bigger as well. But not only does it give us a lot of space up here, it just gives you a lot better exit and entry from each of the rooms. So we're here in the master stateroom of the Aquila 46, and I want you to check out the headroom on this boat. It's pretty obnoxious here in the master. So more than enough headroom for any of your tall guests, but also this room follows what we see on the 50. So not quite one level, but only one step to go down into each hull, which is super convenient to see and to experience here. Also makes the master feel so much bigger to have things more accessible to you and not on a different level. So something Aquila is moving to, which I really like, other than the big windows you see behind me, is this is actually our starboard side stateroom, and it's massive, seems so massive. The bed is actually facing the window now instead of facing forward, so that gives you the ability to walk around the bed, and which is such a cool thing to do. But also when you're making the bed, this is what everybody wants, right? Anybody who's had a boat or two before will request a walk around bed because it's so much easier to actually make the bed. So great thing to see. Again, headroom in here is crazy, and in Aquila fashion, each of the rooms have their own ensuite bathroom. Something phenomenal that I'm seeing in each of these bedrooms is the amount of storage. So you may see on a lot of boats in their guest bedrooms, they have a micro closet. This bedroom actually has 3 different closets in it. So there's a ton of space to put your luggage. There's a ton of space to put your, you can even put provisions in here if you wanted to, but there's so much space out there. But it's really impressive to see the amount of storage on these boats. We're in the port side stateroom now. It's almost identical to the starboard side. So you have the walk around bed as well. You have the 3 separate closets in this room. You also have a drop down TV from the ceiling. We saw the same thing up top in the cockpit area. Cool to see it down here as well. There's also one in the other bedroom, and huge style windows. And behind me we have a very spacious ensuite head. So I kid you not, guys, this is probably the, no, I'm not going to say probably. This is the largest flybridge on a 46-foot power catamaran. So much space up here. It mimics the Aquila 50. You see the same windshield and the same helm design as you see on the 50 because it's worked so well on that boat. But not only that, is you see the bar that you see on the Aquila 50. So L-shaped bar, ice maker, fridge down below, grill out back, just everything you could possibly want for a great entertaining space up here. I just see a great space that you could watch the sunset with your family, a great space that you can entertain clients on the boat. You can even have truly a bartender up here serving drinks. It's just such a massive, massive space. This is so well laid out from Aquila. Highly, highly impressed with this flybridge. So I'm here at the helm, super well appointed helm. We've got our twin Raymarine 16-inch screens here on the dash, our Volvo Penta gauge in the center, along with our autopilot gauge and our depth gauge. So everything very accessible, very viewable for us. This boat actually has a bow thruster in it, so very easy toggle switch here for the bow thruster. And then of course you've got your switches for your nav lights, your radio switch, and your switch for your up top spotlight. It's an easy enough helm with a great vantage point that you could stand up and confidently pilot the boat, or you can actually just sit down and you actually have a great view here, and you're really comfortable here at the helm. Something noteworthy to point out is the headspace here in the hardtop area. It's impressive. I can hardly touch this, and just not only looking at the headroom, but looking how expansive this hardtop is. It you know, extends almost all the way to the end of your seats back here. And in true Aquila fashion, things are overbuilt. And when we look at our stanchions for our hardtop, so we look at our stainless steel stanchions, our cleats, our railings, everything is beefy, everything is overdone, overworked. I love seeing that every time I get on an Aquila, and they did that on this boat, which is truly great to see. It wouldn't be a motor yacht Aquila if it didn't have access to the bow from the flybridge. And this is actually a really cool thing that they did. You see it on the 50 as well, but instead of having it straight down your center line, you have it here on your starboard side. So that gives you a better helm. It gives you better protection at the helm since you're able to enclose it with all eyes and glass if you get in any kind of weather. So it gives a lot of benefits, and it's actually cool to see. It gives you a lot more space to get to your bow as well. So being that this is hull number 1, we're still actually testing this boat and performance-wise, and we'll soon publish fuel economy, we'll soon publish your cruise speed and your top speed, but from what we've seen on the boat, we've seen 21 knots out of it, top end speed, and you're gonna cruise anywhere from 16 to 18 knots on the boat. That's with the 480s. So you can get 550s if you'd like, so a little bit more power. About 3 knots more you're gonna see on the 550s. But also what's special is we're testing this boat right now with a foil system on the 480s. So that's gonna be an option that you're gonna see on the next hulls of these boats, the 480s with a hydrofoil underneath it, which is super exciting. Coming aft, we see a massive area where you would theoretically keep your dinghy. This has a boom system like you'd see on a 50 yacht, so that'll launch and retrieve your dinghy up top. But really your dinghy's gonna sit here. This would hold a 12-foot rib style dinghy, like an inflatable dinghy. And then when you come down to each of the sides here, you actually have space to sit on either of the steps. They're actually a little bit taller than your traditional steps, so they allow you to have a nice seat when you have loved ones in the water or you're watching the sunset. But you also have a massive ladder down there that you see on all of the big motor yachts for Aquila that will be on rollers and will roll out, and you can actually deploy into the water when you need to get people in and out of the boat. Whether you're making your way back to get another snack or get another drink or tie the lines, rest assured you have enough space on either side to do so capably and safely. It's a very impressive thing to see with the grab handles here. You can grab onto this sturdy rail on each side and you can get there safely. Thanks for taking a sneak peek with me on the Aquila 46 yacht. If you'd like to see this boat at the boat show or book an appointment with me to take a look at it, click my bio or even send me a DM. Thank you.